Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another live 40k podcast. I say live, if you're watching us on YouTube, it isn't currently live, but those of us, or those of you that have joined us on Twitch, it is currently live. We do this almost every week. We've only missed a couple so far, normally on a Sunday or a Monday, because it just fits our schedule best, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Sundays are pretty good actually, because not very many people seem to be doing streams on Sundays, which is nice. So we've sort of tried to steal the Sunday slot, but we also do Mondays as well, because it tends to work a little bit better for some people, I think, that have the normal jobs in the UK. But anyway, we do this every week. It's our 40k podcast. They will go up on iTunes and Spotify. They do go up on YouTube as well once they're edited into a nice final product, which last week I talked about hoping it looked good, and then we did it, and I was quite happy with it.
Yeah. Looks great.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see a different type of format to how we run it on Twitch. Twitch, there's two side-to-side cameras, there's stuff streaming over it. It's a proper Twitch layout, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then YouTube is a much more polished interview type format kind of thing, more of a polished chat, I think. We'll call it. I was really happy with how it looked. I was really chuffed with that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. The first time we did this format was last week, where we reviewed the new Space Marines Codex, kind of, and we did a little bit different to how everybody else does it. So we kind of did a bit of a Q&A, and we just sort of picked out the stuff that we thought was important rather than doing a normal read unit to unit, stratagem to stratagem. I really enjoyed it. I think it went down quite well.
Seems to have, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems really to be quite popular. Yeah. And that stuff we're going to be doing in future whenever we get new content from Games Workshop. Now, depending on my work schedule, and that's one of the most restricting factors I have, we will normally try and get them out on a Saturday night of the pre-release order date.
Yeah.
So I'll get the codex from Games Workshop or whatever it is they're sending me, and we'll try and do it the day that I'm allowed to put content out there. However, last week it was just very upsetting that I happened to be on nights all weekend.
Yeah.
We had to
screwed up a bit, didn't it?
But it went well. It went down really well.
Still good. It's still like, the fastest live chat, I think, or fastest release. So it's good.
Yeah, and it was and the stream was packed for a change. I say for a change. It's always full of our wonderful regulars, but there was just loads of extra people that joined.
Definitely, yeah.
Loads of extra unique people we've not seen before.
Well, hopefully there'll be some of them on tonight.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
And if not, at least if we keep doing this, they'll start to join us.
Definitely.
If you love what we do on Warhammer, especially battle reports, then don't forget to go and check out www.deploymentzone.tv. It's across the top of the screen on Twitch. It's across the top of the screen in the corner on YouTube, because I put a little banner up there as well, just so it looks nice and neat. Check out that website. That website is owned by myself and Mr. Winters from Winters SEO, that YouTube channel. Everybody knows who he is, near enough. And there's loads of battle reports on there. There's some sit and talk stuff on there. We're very much looking forward to, Mikey.
Not
this Friday, next Friday. Going to the deploymentzone.tv open day.
Whoop, whoop.
I can't wait.
It's going to be awesome. It's so much fun.
It's going to be chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a bit messy on the Friday, I think.
Yeah, I've got some prep to do for it this week, actually, but I'm really looking forward to it. So we're going to do some sort of cycling images of stuff from the channels that we're going to put up on a big screen. Yeah. We're taking some of our some little units of our armies up there to put on display. So we'll be some of the Eternal Slaughter, some of the 13th, some of the Penitent and Forge, etc. Sure. A massive broken Revenant Titan that I've left in pieces on purpose for this open day.
Yeah. Just to sprinkle some dust over it as well.
Just so you can see the wrath of Winters live at the open
deceased Revenant Titan.
But we're doing a live DZHQ. For those of you on YouTube or Twitch who don't know what a DZHQ is, a DZHQ is what used to be on Warhammer, the More Winter series, where him and I chat nonsense. What we're instead doing this time, hopefully, is having our favourite face, Brom, running around the crowd with his little microphone, so people can ask Winters and I questions. And you can also ask some of the regulars that are going to be there. So yourself will be able to be asked. Brom can answer questions. Cool. I think Rob, not Steve's going to be there. I'm not sure about to say hi, Paul. But some of the regulars will be there anyway. Yeah. You can ask questions, and you can and we can answer them, or be completely put off by what you've said to us. And then later on in the afternoon, we're doing a live big debate.
Yes.
And anybody who comes and joins us on the open day, and it is ticketed, I'm afraid, the tickets have sold out, so don't try and get one now.
Yeah, too late. Sorry.
Anybody who comes and joins us on the open day can attempt to challenge myself or Winters to a big debate.
Oh, okay. It's a challenge, is it?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So, like, winner stays on.
So if I'm winning, I'll stay on. The second I lose, Winters will take my place, and the other one of us is going to be the host. People will just be coming up, and Winters has printed off a load of plastic cards that he's trimmed that have got topics on, and some of them are gold.
Excellent.
The man can be really actually quite funny. And some of those specific big debate topics, if they are picked and it's against me, I'm gonna hate it, because basically what happens is the person who comes up, who picks the card, gets to choose whether they debate for or against.
Okay, fine, yeah.
It's going
to
give
them a bit of advantage because they haven't, had the School of Hard Knocks going through doing the big debates themselves.
Yeah, so it's not going to be filmed. It's not going to go on Deployment Zone. It's just for fun for the DZTV subscribers.
For a bit of a giggle.
I'm dreading some of it.
It's going to be hilarious.
He's dreading some of it more than I'm dreading some of it.
I bet.
And they're his topics.
Yeah.
He's not been very kind to himself.
Oh, that's good.
So it should be hilarious. The Claw in the chat, the Twitch chats, obviously, we are on YouTube at the same... Well, not on YouTube at the same time, but we are going to be on YouTube with this video. However, because we're live on Twitch, sometimes I'll be referring to the chat because we've got a busy chat down the right side of my screen in front of me. The Claw's just said, say hi, Paul better be coming. He's my lift. There you go. Say hi, Paul's going to be at
the big man's going to be there.
TV Open Day.
Awesome.
He's also asked me if we can planning another date to go filming again.
Yeah.
We just recently put a battle report against Paul on deploymentzone.tv.
Yeah, we call that the Day of Carnage.
That was one of the hardest videos I've ever had to edit.
I haven't watched all of it. It's quite a long one, that one, isn't it?
It's the longest video I've ever done. I've cut, as the Claw will allude to, I've cut a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
Because I had to. Some of it, just because it's not family friendly.
Yeah,
and it can't go on the screen. Say hi, Paul's
dear.
a different beast in his own house.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it was great fun.
The gloves were off.
And I cannot wait to go and film with him again. Whilst we're talking about upcoming plans on the schedule, this Saturday coming, we've got Sorcerer Dave from his YouTube channel coming into the studio to film a battle report.
Excellent.
He was the lucky patron who got to come and film with us this month.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So he's on a Saturday.
What's he bringing? Can you tell us?
I don't know.
Oh.
Because I haven't organised it with him. But whatever he wants, really.
Yeah, okay.
And currently, as I speak to you guys at the moment, we are trying to currently plan a date before that. I'm hoping Friday we will do another live podcast, and I'm afraid Mikey P won't be here.
No, I won't, unfortunately.
And neither will Mikey Brom.
No.
And instead, we're hoping to be
Gonna get
joined
loose on.
by that'd
be great.
Many views. We're hoping to be joined by Mini Wargamer Dave.
Yeah.
Literally talking to him as we speak to try and to get him on the show.
Not in person, just dialing in
from Canadian land. Yeah, it's a long way to come. It's a long way to fly over just for a podcast.
It is.
Some people do it though, Rob. Some people do it.
Setting the bar pretty high.
Yeah. So we're hoping to get him on the show at some point as well.
That'd be great.
This week. If it's not this week, it might be the week after. We've had other people that have said they'll come on.
Yeah.
Reese from Frontline Gaming said he's going to come on the show.
Definitely.
This is why it's had to go all professional, you see.
Yeah.
Because all the big people want to come
Get
and
the
play
big
now.
Yeah.
And I'm all there going, oh, this is special. I'm trying not to be a fanboy.
Yeah. Does this mean I have to be more professional, or can I still keep throwing banana skins down for you to trip over?
When it's me and you, it's fine. That's fine, yeah.
Okay.
If you're in the chat when they're here, or not here, but on the screen, and you throw a banana skin, I might struggle.
Just ignore it.
Yeah, I'll just turn the chat off, actually. It's probably easier to do that.
Probably best, yeah.
Anyway, so there's lots of exciting stuff coming up for the channel.
Yeah.
What we also started filming between Winters and I on Wednesday just gone is our new campaign for DZTV. So the Death of Hope has just finished.
It has.
There's the epilogue. That's the one at the end, isn't it? Prologue's the beginning, epilogue's the end. So the epilogue is to go on this Friday, and soon after we're going to roll near enough straight. I think it might be like a week or two's break. We're going to roll near enough straight into the Champion of Chaos campaign, where Winters and I fight to be the Champion of Chaos.
Very cool.
We filmed Wednesday. We filmed 3 battle reports.
Oh,
Jesus,
long day.
Yeah, but it was so much fun, and I can't wait to share that with people as well. That'll be really good. As per usual, the first one will go up on YouTube. So the guys on YouTube that are watching this, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube and have a look at what we're doing. And if you like the format, you can head on over to deploymentzone.tv, hit subscribe, and watch the rest of the campaign as it gets released. I think he's going to go for an every Friday release again, like we did with the Death of Hope. And the problem we have with the campaign, however, is it isn't a set number of games. There is a qualifying thing for someone to win, and that has to be achieved for someone to win.
Right.
So it could happen after 5 to 6 games. It probably will happen before 5.
Cryptic.
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen in game 5. That's the earliest it can happen.
Okay.
It could take till game 15. It could take that long. So this is going to be a really exciting campaign. I'm really loving it so far.
We've got the longest campaign in history.
Winters has edited the first 3 already, and he's really happy with them as well. I'm really excited by them. So
good.
Can't wait. I run the Eternal Slaughter World Eaters against the End of All Things Death Guard in the Champion of Chaos campaign. So check that out as well.
Nice.
And that's our channel update done pretty much, I think.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add?
No, not really.
Oh,
well.
There is something you've started, though.
Yeah. Actually, yes, you're quite right. I should do. This is not strictly speaking 40k related. However, it is Warhammer related.
It is indeed.
So this Wednesday just gone, we had our first D&D session. So I've recorded that. I haven't managed to edit it yet. Apologies for that. But we released the audio. So we do it through the Discord. I've got 5 guys who are a party, and I'm DMing it, and we're running through the Lost Mine of Fandelver, which is the sort of starter campaign for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We had our first session 1 on Wednesday. It was loads of fun. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, really good fun.
I've had some really good feedback from some of the people that played.
Cool.
So that's good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was, a bit silly at times. But that's, we were playing for about 3.5 hours. So we finished nearly midnight on Wednesday. So there's an awful lot of audio to go through that.
I jumped on the chat about... people look at me at Twitch weird. I'm just taking my socks off. I jumped in the chat about 8 o'clock and listened to you start to join. And then I had to go and do family things because family exists. Yeah. And I did notice when I went to bed at like 11, it was still going on Discord. And I was like, Jesus, that's a session.
Yeah. Well, it's that was long because we had a little bit of preamble, and Chris deleted his character sheet because he's a numpty. But yeah, so we were a little bit late starting, and it was I think we played for about 3.5 hours, so it was nearly midnight when we finished. But yeah, great fun. Everyone had a good time, I think, and we'll be doing it every Wednesday at 8. So if you are in the Discord, if you're part of the Warhammer Patreon group and you're in Discord, you can listen in. Yeah, I think everyone can listen in, can't they?
Everyone, every member of the Discord, so every paying patron can listen to what's going on in the D&D stuff. If you want to take part and join in the chat, not the audio part because that's for players that you've selected, but if you want to take part in all the written chats on Discord, then you have to be a silver or above.
Yeah. So that's just kicked off. We've done it. We had a few sessions beforehand where I was doing all the sort of preamble and getting to know the guys and making the party and all this sort of stuff. I recorded all of it, so it's all been. I've got it all on my Dropbox, and the links are put up every time. So anyone who's in Discord can listen back to it as well. They don't have to just listen live. So yeah, it's great. It's going well. It's good fun.
Yeah, you're enjoying it, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's really good fun.
Because I'm aware that you said I'm thinking about starting D&D and maybe doing a bit of DMing, and I just dumped it all on you.
Yeah, then you bought the books and said, "Here you go, get on with it." Yeah. I was like, "Okay, thanks." Yeah, this is good.
Yeah,
no, it's great. It's going really well. So really enjoying it.
I'm glad that's taken off as well. And like I said, the feedback I've had from a couple of people that are involved is really positive. They're really enjoying it. We've also had some of our other patrons who have offered to DM separate sessions as well. Yeah,
definitely.
And there's various different experience levels for D&D players in the whole of Discord. So there'll probably be some that are run by more experienced people for more experienced people.
Yeah, totally.
And maybe some lower level stuff as well.
Yeah, that'd be great because I want to play as a character as well. I've got some character ideas.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm basically just leaving the whole D&D organisation thing to you. Because I've got enough to do, so you can have that, which is fine.
That's fine. I'm quite happy with that. It's good. It's going well.
Mikey, I think that it's going to become your nickname so everyone has nicknames on channels, right? Yours is going to be Dungeon Master Mikey.
Yeah, well, I think it's Dum Dum Master actually.
Works.
Ridley
works.
Called me. Yeah. So there you go.
Cool. Okay. Right. So let's get to the meat and bones, the main topic we've sat here for. So obviously last week we previewed the Space Marine Codex along with the supplements, and we did a little bit of skimming of some of the supplements. We covered some stuff in the White Scars book because one of our patrons and Twitch followers, Ridley, asked some questions about psychic powers and stuff.
Sure.
Mikey Brum obviously covered some of the Ultramarine stuff, which is really interesting.
That's good
because they were probably the go-to army before in terms of how strong they are.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think this has done a massive amount to stop that necessarily. Now, I don't think they're an auto go-to anymore. So I now think that if you look at the book and some of the traits that existed within the book, I just don't think they're auto go-to. I think when you come away from competitive stuff, which is what we're about, coming away from a competitive stuff, I think it's much, much easier now to select a different chapter or even create your own.
Well, I think what we are going to find, so, I mean, there's this... So I've got the White Scars book open in front of me. It's 64 pages long. There's only 2 data sheets in the whole book. And you don't get to those until 52.
Yeah.
So there's only 12 pages of rules in this book. The rest of it is all fluff, it's the glossy photos and stuff. So there's an awful lot of information, particularly about obviously the history of the chapter, but also a lot about the organisation of the chapter as well. So all the battle companies and the different, different ones in there, different tactics
Massive
and
amounts
stuff like
of narrative.
That. Yeah, loads of it. And all the different, shoulder pads, knee pads and stuff, all designs and that for the helmets, for the sergeants and lieutenants and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's loads and loads of detail.
Yeah, it's really, really full of fluff and stuff in there, which is really good. So I'm a massive fan of that, obviously.
Yeah.
Like you say, I mean, to be fair, the White Scars does only have 2 data sheets. There's Coruscant Khan, new Primaris Coruscant Khan, and there's Khan on bike, which isn't a Primaris, it's just Khan on bike.
Yeah.
And that's it. The Ultramarines is different. The Ultramarines have obviously got a lot more characters, and they've got some Honor Guard stuff and some other units that are in there. So the Ultramarines, there's about 10 data sheets, I think, maybe, or 8 data sheets in the Ultramarines book. So there's a fair amount.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's the same principle. There's 2 pages of stratagems, a page of relics, and a page of special issue war gear. And it's important to note those 2 things are different.
Mm-hmm, okay.
2 pages of stratagems, like I say, a page of warlord traits and a page of psychic powers. And then the thing people tend to forget about is also the page of what they called tactical objectives cards. Thank you. You just
got them up here.
Got to the page as I was saying it. Perfect. There's
also a name generator.
A name generator at the back as well.
Very important. Very important.
So there's lots of stuff. There's lots of flavour to add to a force. Now, why I wanted to talk about this on this podcast, not only because it's a hot topic and it's new and clickbait works, but also because there's some really interesting stuff that's come out of this that I've been sort of digging into or scratching into over the last few days.
Okay.
And that's how. So for me personally, my most interesting part of this whole release is custom chapter tactics.
Yeah.
Whereby we spoke about this last week anyway, and I won't tell you about all the different ones you can do, but basically you go into the custom chapter tactics section of the book. There's again 2 pages worth, and you pick 2 different custom chapter tactics and you mash them together and you create your chapter tactic.
Yeah.
Right? That's really interesting because there's loads of combinations you can come up with, and you can basically tailor it to the flavour that you want your Space Marine army to be. So maybe you want your Space Marine army to be melee focused, maybe you want them to be more survivable, maybe they're experts with bolt guns, etc.
Yeah, or sneaky or whatever it might be.
Yeah, you don't have to follow one of the current first founding chapters that exists within the book. So I was massively interested and keen in that particular part. And then I found something that's in both the Ultramarines and the White Scars book, which is really interesting.
Okay, go on.
So we said last week that you only need to buy the Space Marine Codex, and that's still true.
Yes.
There was a comment we had on YouTube that said, no, Blood Angels players will also have to buy a Blood Angels book as well because it's got separate units in. Not true. There's nothing Blood Angels in this book at all. The Blood Angels book will follow the same format it used to. I have no doubt that Blood Angels will be all together in their own separate book. And they won't have this successor chapter nonsense unless they decide to drop Flesh Terrors as a supplement, for example.
Oh, okay. So do you not think there'll be a supplement? There'll just be a separate codex? For Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves?
I don't think there will be, because what they're going to have to do with the way the Blood Angels structure works, the way the Space Wolves structure works, the amount of individual units they have, the supplement's going to be significantly more pages of rules than the current White Scars
completely.
And they're going to have to put caveats in the supplement to remove loads of units that exist in the normal codex. Because I can't see them having access to everything because they never have before. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know about that because there's not many exceptions where they don't get stuff that's Codex Astartes.
Well, like for example,
Space
Wolves will get Storm Fangs and Storm Wolves, the 2 gunships. They don't get Storm Ravens.
Okay, yeah.
As far as I'm aware, they don't get Storm Hawks and they don't get the other little things that fly. I don't know what they're called.
Sky Potatoes.
I might be wrong. People might tell me that I'm wrong right now. But as far as I'm aware, they don't get those extra units. And then there's lots of messing around with caveats, and it's probably easy. I mean, they've done it before. It's easy just to release their own separate book.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll see the supplement. There'll be one supplement, perhaps it's a successor chapter of. I don't know. I don't know. My gut tells me it will be a separate book.
So you think maybe you'll get, like, say, Codex Dark Angels, and then you'll get or Blood Angels, and then you'll get a Flesh Terror supplement. Flesh
Terrors. Yeah.
Or you might find you get Flesh Terrors might be a White Dwarf supplement. Because there's not going to be a huge amount doing that potentially.
No. So I don't think with them that we'll see a supplement necessarily. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing is, what sort of leads me towards that as well is if you look into the chapter tactics within the Space Marine book, it gives you Ultramarines, White Scars, Black Templars, Imperial Fists, Salamanders, Raven Guard, etc.
They're not going to do Black Templars, though.
Yes.
They're a successor chapter. But they said they're going to do a supplement for them.
But there's also Crimson Fists in the Space Marine book. So they're going to get their own supplement, which is interesting, but they're a very well-established successor chapter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Some are a bit large numbers. Well, I think the Black Templars are larger than a chapter anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
Is it Black Templars? I think it is.
Black Templars are Legion size? No,
Anyway, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
So basically, those chapters and successor chapters already exist as a chapter tactic within the Space Marines Codex, the Adeptus Astartes Codex. No mention of Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves. So I don't see. So if the supplement Ultramarine, supplement White Scars, if they follow that trend, you have to think that perhaps once they've done the supplements for all the parent chapters, done.
Yeah,
I reckon. Now, there's some other stuff that I think kind of adds fuel to that fire, that kind of adds evidence to it, and that's what I'm going to go on to.
Go for it.
In the supplements, I'll grab the book off you, Mikey P.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
There's a piece called so up here. I'm going to show it back here. There's a page called Lightning Assault that gives you abilities, warlord traits, stratagems, and gives you qualifiers and rules. Okay.
Yeah, it's where you'd normally see like the objective secured rule and that sort of things like that. And
so this tells you basically how this supplement works with your Codex Adeptus Astartes. And there's some interesting qualifiers in here.
Cool, okay.
Which is different to anything I've ever seen before. So, for example, ability, the ability they get is Devastating Charge. We spoke about this before, which basically says that when the Assault Doctrine's live, they get +1 damage. If they performed a charge or heroic intervention, they add 1 to their damage characteristics of their melee weapons. Okay?
Cool, nice.
And that they add that to Assault Doctrine. Now, obviously, like I say, we've also got warlord traits, chapter relics, psychic powers, etc. And we've got this little chapter, this little paragraph here that says successor chapters. Now I'm going to read it verbatim. And it's a bit boring, but we need to get this out properly so people understand what this says.
We're going for accuracy here.
Yeah, and I'm going to read it properly rather than like Brom.
Now you've said that.
Yeah, I'm going to stumble over all my words now. You watch. There's many people watching live to watch me fail.
That's called Just Desserts. Go on.
So, when you include an Adeptus Astartes unit in your army that has the chapter keyword, see Codex Space Marines, you must decide what chapter that unit is from. Unless you choose one of the first founding chapters available to you, White Scars, Imperial Fists, Iron Hands, etc., then your chapter is a successor chapter, and you should decide which of the aforementioned first founding chapters it is a successor of. So what they're saying is when you create your own successor chapter, you must pick a first founding chapter. If the successor chapter you have chosen is one established in the background of our publications, its founding chapter will often be known. For example, the Stormlords chapter is known as the successor of the White Scars. If the successor chapter you have chosen does not have a known founding chapter, but has the Inheritors of the Primarch successor tactic, which basically means you pick a first founding chapter tactic.
Yeah, okay.
And you selected the chapter tactic of the first founding chapter, your chosen chapter is a successor of that first founding chapter. So if you pick the Ultramarines chapter tactic, you can't be a successor of White Scars. You must be a successor of Ultramarines, is what that's saying. Okay. Otherwise, choose a founding chapter that best fits your successor chapter's character. So what they're saying is, if you make a successor chapter of your own, you must pick a first founding that you're a successor chapter of.
Which is very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because what about Blood Ravens? Presumably they can't choose Thousand Sons.
Yes, I love you sometimes. I don't know if Mikey's watching, but
if he is, he knows it.
Yeah. So you pick your successor chapter, and then you must pick a first founding chapter. And at the moment, for example, if you make a successor chapter and you pick Iron Hands, 0 effect.
Yeah, totally.
Because there's no Iron Hand supplement. In the future, that will clearly change because it goes on. If your chapter is a successor of the White Scars, the following rules apply.
Okay.
So warlord traits. If your warlord is a character model from a White Scar successor chapter, you can use the White Scars warlord trait table opposite to determine what warlord trait they have. Replace the White Scars keyword in all instances with a warlord trait if any of your warlord's chapter keyword. Relics basically says if you use a specific stratagem, which is Gift of the Khan stratagem for a single command point, you can then use the White Scars relics.
Yeah, okay.
Even though you're not a White Scar.
So you have to pay...
You pay a CP to get the White Scar relic.
Really? Okay.
However, the White Scar special issue war gear, you can have that anyway.
There's a distinction.
You get special issue war gear for free.
Okay.
If you want a White Scars relic, you play a command point.
Okay.
Stratagems. Units from White Scar successor chapters are considered to have the White Scars keyword for the purposes of all White Scar stratagems. The same applies to psychic powers. You can use the storm speaking discipline, and then you replace White Scar with your chapter keywords.
Sure.
Tactical objectives is the same. Interestingly, you also get Devastating Charge.
Yeah,
that's interesting. So, in addition to the detachment abilities gained from Codex Space Marines, you gain the Devastating Charge ability so long as, with the exception of unaligned units, every unit from your army is a White Scars unit, or every unit from your army is from the same White Scar successor chapter. So the +1 damage on the charge, you also get for being a successor chapter.
Yes. So does that mean then that you have to choose the chapter trait of the White Scars, or can you still You can choose.
So
like,
because
any
of
two
because
you
of the
want.
qualifier down here that I've just read out for
Interesting.
successor chapters,
Yeah.
you can pick 2 separate traits, claim that you're a successor chapter of the White Scars, and get devastating charge.
Ooh,
That's really strong. There's
that's
no
gonna be,
downside
that's
to
gonna
taking
be
a supplement.
combo-licious.
The only downside to taking a supplement, the only downside is, one, you may have to spend a command point if you want a specific relic from that, but you can still use the relic from the main Space Marine book
Yeah,
for
and
free.
you're not tied to their like librarian discipline either.
Nope,
are you?
use
can use
ones in the book.
You can use Codex
So all you're
Astartes,
doing is
yeah.
gaining extra. So you will
Interesting.
still get access to the normal Codex Adeptus Astartes relics and their special issue war gear. You then gain for free access to the White Scar special issue war gear. If you want their relics, you pay a single CP. You get access to the normal Adeptus Astartes psychic disciplines and warlord traits. You get these for free just by being a successor chapter. You've paid nothing for it. You just get it.
That's pretty nice, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So basically I said last week that you don't have to buy a book, and I stand by it. You don't have to buy a successor chapter supplement, long day. You don't have to buy a supplement if you don't want to. But now I'm thinking, why wouldn't you?
Well, this is it. You're going to get some extra rules. You're going to get some extra variety of psychic powers, as you say, like relics and special issue war gear. Did you say it was? Yeah. So and warlord traits and stuff. So yeah, that makes it sound an awful lot like people are going to be really like making their own success chapters. It's really encouraging you to do that,
which I think is positive personally.
Yeah, oh definitely. Yeah, variety is going to be massive. Hopefully I think what you'll probably find is that over time, in the next sort of 6 months or so, people will find some really good combos, and they won't necessarily be the only combos, but they might be the ones that you see most often.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some stronger than other combinations, definitely.
Yeah, and
some go-to stuff.
Yeah, that's it. There'll be some that are like known quantities after a period of time that people will go to, and that. But,
it's like captains, right? There's plenty of people that take. Well, the go-to is a Thunderhammer, a Storm Shield, and a jump pack on a captain.
Yeah.
Right, but there are people out there that won't run the Thunderhammer and a Storm Shield, and they'll run the Burning Blade instead.
Sure.
So there's variations of what is the strongest choice, but the strongest choice is still the strongest choice, and I think we'll see the same with successor chapters. I will say, having read the successor chapter traits, for me, and I'm not a highly competitive player. Indeed. I'm never going to place high in the ITC.
Yeah.
For me, there is no obvious, really strong standout combination. Someone out there will prove me wrong, I have no doubt, and there will be a strong combination.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But for me, so far, there just isn't one. Yeah. There's so many good choices that maybe is 6 or 7 strong combinations rather than just 1 or 2, which is also positive.
I think at the moment as well there's just so much information to absorb there. Whereas previously you've got half a dozen. Yeah. You can choose from half a dozen Space Marine chapters. You can now choose from combinations of hundreds.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's just so much information. So I think what it's going to boil down to is probably picking a powerful unit and then working your way backwards. If you're going to make a super crunch tournament list with this stuff, I guess the way you start is pick your competitive unit and then work backwards. So decide what chapter traits and stuff are going to make it more powerful and back it up and all that sort of stuff.
Now, there's a comment we've already had in the chat that says from Bristol Chess Times that says surely that's going to get FAQ'd. I don't think it does, because the qualifying that's within the White Scars book, that's also in the Ultramarines book, is so specific
it really is,
about how it works. It doesn't, for me, and I'm sure people will argue this because 40k players love to argue the rules. But for me, it's really blatantly worded to say that you can create a successor chapter. You have to pick a first founding. If you pick a first founding, you get access to everything that's in their supplement, with the exception of the 1 command point for their relics. The only other downside, which I was going to mention before, which I didn't, is that you clearly can't use their characters, because you can't take, for example, Coruscant Khan and suddenly have your successor chapter keyword. He keeps the White Scars keyword.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's the
and if you have him,
the Dark Scars.
Yeah, if you have Dark Scars, like it, and if you have him as a HQ choice of White Scars and everything else has your Dark Scars successor trait, then it's not a detachment that will gain any detachment benefits.
Yeah, that bullshit's not going to fly.
No, exactly, because they're not then uniform across. So you can't. You can't take characters. So, for example, one of the big questions though is Ultramarines and Gullymen, and we spoke about this last week briefly. But just for those who didn't see it, absolutely, you can take a whole detachment of your Nova Marines if you want, that are Ultramarine successor chapters, and you still can take Gullyman as a super heavy auxiliary detachment, and it's a Battleforge list because he becomes his own individual chapter within his detachment. Sure. So the list is still Battleforge. The interesting thing is with him is his aura buff for rerolling to rune rolls of 1 and rerolling all hit rolls is for Ultramarines specifically. Yeah. So he allows all Imperium within 12 to reroll 1s to hit, not to wound.
Oh, okay. The wounding
but
is
the
only
hit
Ultramarines.
to wound, to roll, to the to wound roll of 1 reroll and the to hit roll reroll is Ultramarine specifically. So although you would have an Ultramarine successor chapter, these qualifiers that we've just spoke about at no point change the way that the aura abilities work for, say, Ultramarines characters. So if you buff nearby, Coruscant Khan buffs nearby White Scars units, and they get to reroll wound rolls or add 1 to their wound roll or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. I could look, it's right there. But that won't fly with Dark Scars, for example. It doesn't work. It can't work.
That's good. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And I think that obviously we'll get an FAQ probably in a week's time. Should be.
Well, it went live today, so probably 2 weeks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. It's pre-order.
Not went live today. Went live yesterday, so 2 weeks.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. We'll get the FAQ come through. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing fairly major FAQ changes to the Space Marine Codex at subsequent, big FAQs, because I would be very surprised if they've managed to write this where it can't be abused.
Now,
so there's a lot of intricacies to that. So we have to wait and see how well it plays out.
For me, this is a controversial thing to say. For me, it's black and white clear, and although you can maybe abuse it in terms of combinations, what I think we'll struggle with people that can suddenly think they can drop Gulliman into a Nova Marines list and use his buff, and use his aura, or people that think that there's because of how much of a layer it gives you. I think it's open to abuse in terms of people misinterpreting or misunderstanding. But I think for me personally, who's an avid reader of rules, I don't think it can be misinterpreted if you read it all properly and you understand. And this is the thing that exists in GW rule writing in general, though, because it's written in English, which at times can be quite an ambiguous language.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the inference can change simply by the punctuation. Certain words mean separate things, and sometimes GW have a massive inconsistency with the words that they use to mean different things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sometimes that's on purpose. Sometimes they say wholly within. Sometimes they say within, and that's entirely on purpose.
And there are qualifying paragraphs of text to explain what within versus wholly within means, but that is not very clear without those extra paragraphs. To explain.
Absolutely.
So there's layers of description.
And the other
required.
thing that we discovered something this morning. So Ridley, who's in our Discord, very active member, new admin actually.
Yes. Congratulations on your promotion. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very possible to fuck it up as well. So Ridley, who we were discussing it this morning, there's a White Scars Warlord trait, which is number 6 on the White Scars trait, Master of Snares or something, which essentially states that once your Warlord has made a charge, on a D6 roll of a 4+ for a selected unit, they can't fall back.
Yeah.
Now that's huge on something like a jump pack captain. Doesn't even have to be a smash captain at this point, who charges a flyer, because flyers, even with the aircraft keyword that they gained from the latest FAQ and chapter approved stuff, they can't fall out of combat if he rolls the 4+ rules as written currently.
Yeah.
So the way that the aircraft rules are written is that a model that is within an inch of a unit with the aircraft keyword can move, advance, etc. as normal.
Yes.
So it's not tied to the aircraft.
Correct,
like a normal combat.
Yeah.
But the way that the words are written, an aircraft can't do the same. Now, the reason why I'm sure have written it that way is because models of the fly keyword have always been able to fall out and shoot as normal.
Yeah.
It's always been a thing.
So all aircraft have got the fly keyword as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah.
So in the past, it's never been an issue that an aircraft can't fall out.
Yeah.
Because it can. Because it's got the fly keyword.
Absolutely.
There are, I'm sure, probably other rules within other codexes that I don't fully know that may actually stop that from happening. If there is, please let me know below. I'm not aware of them at the moment. I'm sure there probably is somewhere. The only way I used to know that people would stop aircraft from doing things like falling out of combat is by blocking movement, and then they would auto crash.
Yes. So this is the point, isn't it?
And that's what they were trying to stop.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting that the aircraft qualifying rule was brought out to stop that kind of play.
Yeah.
And to stop people from restricting movement from other armies as well.
Yes.
And yet now, with this new Warlord trait, it's kind of back on the table for White Scars captains with that Warlord trait.
Yeah. I mean, arguably, what they set out to do with the aircraft thing hasn't really succeeded with regards to movement blocking anyway, because how many units are there that can move through, what is it, a 5-inch or 5-inch base, is it? Move through a 5-inch base and then still be an inch beyond it. The front model in a unit might, but how is the back model in a unit going to get all that way? So, anyway.
So at the moment, rules as written, your White Scars jump captain can take that Warlord trait potentially on a 4+. The aircraft's auto destroyed.
Yeah,
it can't move its minimum
distance. It crashes.
Yeah, that's something that, for example, I feel like, and Ridley and I had a chat about this morning. I feel like that would be FAQ'd.
Yeah. I don't think that's intentional.
So this particular ability does not affect aircraft keyword.
Although arguably it might take the sting out of the Eldar flyer lists that you see.
I see. A lot of people have said stuff like that as well, and I don't see that suddenly we're going to have hundreds and hundreds of White Scars captains with that Warlord trait just because Eldar flyers are a thing, because there's better stuff to take. And there is. That's the fact.
And there are other units that can do it as well.
The Warlord trait is very, very good, but if you're taking a Smash captain up against a list that's running 6 Eldari flyers, he'll do it once.
Yeah.
Maybe a 50-50 chance. And he won't last much longer after that.
I mean, the thing is, those Smash captains, they're still very good units taking out flyers anyway in melee.
Absolutely.
So, we don't see, you're not seeing 3 Smash captains very often. So.
No, you're not. So I don't think it's going to be massively game changing, but it might be FAQ because I don't think it is intended to operate with aircraft that way.
I think it's fair to assume that is going to be FAQ because I don't think that's a kind of nuance they would have expected or have thought of, really. I think they wouldn't have, I don't designed it to for that end result.
Absolutely, I don't think the rule was written to interact with flyers that way.
No.
I think it was written to interact with big tanks and maybe stuff like that.
Well, they might just give you maybe they'll say that if it has aircraft, then that Warlord trait doesn't apply to it. Anyway, whatever.
The massive interesting thing with this for me isn't necessarily currently how it affects Marines, because we know how it affects Marines. I've just read it out. We know exactly how it affects Marines. What interests me at the moment is how this is going to affect, or how this Marine Codex in general is going to affect the rest of 40k.
Yeah.
That's really, really interesting because of a couple of things. So first of all, Winters played against one of our patrons, Simon, today.
Okay,
A battle report for, I think it was for Winters, it might have been for DZTV. Simon,
Marines.
I'm sure, will tell us. I don't know what Simon took.
Sulk Marines.
Maybe. You on about Dark Angels, right?
Dark Angels.
So anyway, Simon played Winters today. Winters obviously had the new Space Marine book and new Space Marine rules, and he ran the 13th with the new Space Marine book. I don't know what chapter trait he used. We'll soon find out.
That's going to be, everyone's like, ooh, what's he going to run the 13th as?
Yeah,
ooh.
everyone's waiting for that. And I would say, honestly,
topic,
if you're a 13th fan, that he's probably going to chop and change.
Yeah.
That's what he's always done.
Why only have one chocolate out of the box?
However, Winters messaged me straight after the game, after we had had a conversation. So when we both received these codexes before we could put anything online, and we both had a quick flick through, that night, that weekend of nights, we were both on nights for the 3 nights at the same time. Yeah. So we were emailing each other at work and chatting about this new codex. And he had categorically said, it's good, it's not great. It makes Marines do what Marines do a bit better, but it's not amazing. He messaged me today and went, Jesus Christ, Marines are broken as hell.
Yeah.
I went, really? He went, unbelievably powerful. He said the last time I played 40k that was this easy was with Knights.
Yeah.
That was his comment. And he took Knights to no retreat because it was 40k on easy mode. And he could chill out and just worry about the fact that he's got 5 models to use, five sets of rules to worry about. I can drink some beer and chat to people, which is the key for no retreat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's basically got 3 data sheets.
So he ran them today and went, they are so strong now. And then Simon messaged me and went, Jesus Christ. So apparently they both thought it was really, really strong.
Yeah, cool, okay.
Who knows how the game went, but he was immensely surprised at how good. And I'm genuinely, honestly, I'm really pleased for him. I'm really pleased for Brom. Genuinely.
Yeah, definitely.
Marine players who have stuck with their Marines through thick and thin, who haven't gone to the nearest possible cheese of Smash captains like galore. Brom's got one because they're a good unit and he wants to go to events, but he hasn't taken 3 that are Blood Angels to bolt onto. He's
not super optimised.
Stay pure, stay Ultramarines, absolutely. So I am genuinely really, really, really pleased for Brom and Winters who have stuck with their Marines, and their Marines are now, and what I said to Winters today was, the power level that I think they're at, which I said to him last weekend I thought they were at, is narrative for Space Marines.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's narrative for Space Marines. So I think...
Well, if they're getting bested by Astra Militarum all the time, every time a Space Marine player faced against Astra Militarum, you'd put your money on the guard every time, wouldn't you? So, yeah, that's not narrative.
And now they're probably where they should be. They're super strong. They're elite shock troop soldiers that come in when the dire is bad, when the need is high, obliterate everything in their path and walk away again. Now, for competitive 40k, for the balance of the game... Not that we care that much about competitive 40k, but for the balance of the game and the ability for Brom to bring his Ultramarines and be able to play anyone and have a good game, that's quite bad.
Yes.
For the narrative of the game, it's spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think many people will argue it's a bad thing. I think people are worried it might be a bad thing because the reality is at this time, no one knows because the codex came out yesterday.
And the thing is, the whole of the rest of 40k has not yet caught up with these new books.
No.
So I know we've had... Well, the other thing that's interesting, Chaos Space Marines came out with a big version 2 sticker on it on the front. I say sticker, it's part of the print of the page. Adeptus Astartes doesn't have version 2.
No, it's brand new.
Just new codex.
Yeah, well, it's called Codex Space Marines. I'm pretty sure it was said Adeptus Astartes on the last one.
I've got it over there somewhere. But yeah, it did. I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
So it's not a version 2. There's no 2 on it. It's just Codex Space Marines. That's it. Done. Right? I don't know if that means we're going to see another version of the Heretic Astartes one, which is kind of a version 3, but not a version 3, a rewrite, where they're going to do the same thing with the legions that they've done with the chapter tactics. I would suggest if they're going to do that, it won't be anytime soon because we just had version 2.
It would be. I would say it would be nice if we got a Codex Chaos Space Marines or Heretic Astartes or whatever, and then they had supplements for Night Lords, Iron Warriors, etc. But I can't see it happening for a long, long time.
I think if they were to, I mean, arguably they could get away with just dropping supplements now.
Yeah, that's true. Possibly.
They kind of done it with Black Legion already in Vigilus Ablaze.
Yeah.
So I think they could just do the supplements and not worry about rewriting the codex.
Yeah.
They've already, we saw on Friday, they've already dropped the FAQs to add essentially a version of Shock Assault. I think it's called Hatred something or other to Heretic Astartes stuff. They've dropped all the FAQs for all the Forge World units. Really, really interesting that Gabriel Angelos, the Blood Ravens chapter master doesn't have Shock Assault or Combat Doctrines or anything like that. He doesn't have Agent's Death. So currently you can't take a Battle Forge. You can't basically, currently, if you take Angelos in a Blood Ravens army, you don't get Agents of Death, and therefore you don't get Combat Doctrines.
FAQs to follow, I'm sure.
I absolutely, of course they are. However, so they could do that with Chaos Space Marine supplements, but I think you're absolutely right. I think we cannot judge how strong this book is currently for a couple of reasons. First of all, it came out yesterday.
Yeah.
So people are starting to play their first games with this codex who aren't YouTubers today and yesterday.
Yeah.
And people were going to put stuff together that they think is really strong because the codex, it looks like it's strong, and they're probably going to steamroller people. The other thing you have to think about is they've massively pushed the power level of Space Marines up.
Yeah.
So some of us, myself possibly included, I'm filming with Brom on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
He's bringing his Marines with the new codex. Now, I have to be very careful that I don't go in at my old strength.
This is it, isn't it? You've got
because he'll steamroller me.
Yeah, exactly. And also you've got to gauge it, haven't you? You've got to try and gauge it, and it's an unknown quantity.
And how do you gauge something that's just come out?
Yeah.
Because if I go in at my old sort of strength and my old play style against him, in the new book, I firmly believe he will whitewash me with it. So I have to step my level up a little bit in terms of what I'm putting on the field and how strong I'm fielding my army.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure I don't step it up too much on the off chance that he doesn't bring the strongest that he can, and then I steamroller him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the foibles of running a narrative back rep channel, isn't it? It's trying to balance armies so they don't just do, one doesn't steamroll another and you get a good five turn game.
I want to qualify and catch on camera as well that Richie has said it'll be a boring game if Marines always win. Full cheese, Liam.
Full cheese.
So he can't whinge now for
up
do
to
that.
the elbow.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But like I say, the other thing that really interests me now is what is going to happen to the rest of 40k.
Yeah. So obviously, when anything gets a buff, that means that other things get a nerf. Effectively, it's a relative
natural
nerf.
Balance, right? Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, things like obviously Grey Knights, still bottom of the barrel, going to be even further down. It's like the bottom of the barrel through the boards.
I don't think they even gain Shock Assault.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. Anyway,
someone will correct us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But no, so yeah, you're right. Other factions that probably used to do very well against Marines won't do so well against Marines.
No.
So they've got an effective nerf.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know if Marines are now going to be super duper competitive. But I think they're going to be more competitive, and I think that's fairer for the legions of Space Marine players. The Space Marines is the most popular faction in the game by a long way.
Yeah,
it's pretty much everyone who plays 40k has got a Space Marine.
They're the poster boy.
Yeah, completely.
Absolutely,
they are. They're the biggest part of the IP.
And the interesting thing is for me, I don't know if everybody else feels the same. Twitch can probably tell me whether I'm right or wrong. If you've looked at this codex in depth and you've read the book, especially the custom chapter stuff, as an army that is the poster boy, you're 100% right, they're the poster boy.
Yeah.
And as me, I've said it last week, someone who's never ever contemplated ever running Vanilla Marines before, I'm now interested. I'm not saying I'm going to build a Vanilla Marine army, but it isn't something I would instantly say no to. Before this codex, are you going to collect bog standard Space Marines? No.
Yawn.
Not interested.
Yeah, totally.
Not interested. They don't appeal to me.
Yeah.
Now, with the customization, especially with the fact that I can pick supplements and And the thing is now, you've got to think of it from a content creator's perspective as well.
Yeah.
So Winters specifically, there is something like 7 sets of chapter tactics in the book, which means we're going to see 7 supplements. Which means with the 7 supplements, that's 14, for example, pages of stratagems, plus the Space Marine book. That's 16 pages of stratagems that are available to the 13th. Not all in the same game.
No.
He'll only ever get to pick from 4 pages. Or
Winters loves the chocolate box analogy. Yeah, there's loads of different things you can choose from. Why limit yourself? And having lots of different things is always fun.
But this is what I'm saying. So the variety that now appears in this book for people like content creators who are building custom chapters, and a lot of YouTubers out there, a lot of players in general that go to events, actually, it's not just YouTubers. That's very narrow-minded to say it's just YouTubers.
Yeah.
Will build custom armies because that are custom schemes because it gives them the option to change it up. And actually, you can change the whole way your army works without spending hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, totally.
Just by changing the tactics, the doctrines, the supplement, etc. That's even better now than it was before.
Yeah, agreed. I like it. I mean, certainly, what you're saying really is you get more mileage out of your Marine army you've already got.
Yeah, absolutely. Which can only be a positive.
Yeah, completely.
Unless you've painted everything Ultramarines already, in which case you're stuck to just Ultramarines. But let's be fair, it's a good supplement. So Bron won't be upset compared to where he was a month ago.
I don't understand how anyone can be upset by this. I mean, there's more detail, more narrative, more information, more options.
Now, I can understand how people would be upset, and that's people that don't currently play Marines. Because they are now honestly, I don't necessarily think they're going to be suddenly event winning everything, but they're now in a very strong place. I think, personally. Again, this is coming from someone who's not a hardcore tournament player.
Yeah.
This is just from playing with your mates on tabletop or pickup games or whatever, or even just standard sort of average event goer.
Yeah, I mean, for reasons previously, just discussed a minute ago, I could see why you would be, potentially you could be a little bit miffed about it because you've got to then sort of rework your whole balancing brain, how you work out back reps, and that's extra work for YouTubers. So that could be a bit annoying, but I mean, not massively, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, but what I think other players who play Eldar or Orcs or Necrons can take from this maybe. And I'm really hoping this is the way it goes, and GW haven't just massively boosted their poster boys and screw everybody else. What I think we'll see, possibly in the future, when they re-release the Eldar Codex, when they re-release the whichever ones are going to come out next. I don't know what order they were released in previously.
No, who knows? God knows. But
you might find now that separate craft worlds, for example, with Eldar, get supplements.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Have they set that precedent now for other factions as well? Sorry. Ridley's come back and said Grey Knight's got shock assault.
Oh,
so
perfect.
That's good. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what I think, I mean, what I'm really interested to see how they do. So my honest belief is that with Eldar craft worlds, Orc clan cultures, and Necron dynasties, I think we'll see the same format. Why? The cynic in me is partly because it makes more money. Because it does, because you buy 2 books instead of 1, and if you're creating a custom chapter, now once you've bought your Space Marine book, you're not done. You could buy 3, 4, 5, 6 other supplements. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying GW are doing it to make money, but we have to remember they're a business.
Absolutely. And I don't hold it against them. They're doing multiple books. I mean, I know some people get a bit miffed about the backbreaking amount of books that have to be carried to an event and stuff.
That is a negative.
It is, but I don't think it's a big negative personally. And I'm not sure how many times you have to really realistically get all those books out and check them all. I mean, you know what you're running, you know your rules, and if you're playing in your garage with your mates, I mean, you'd have your books there, and if you can stop for 10 minutes and look for all if you need to while you go and make a cup of tea, it's just not that big a deal.
It's not a massive issue. I mean, I can see how it's more of a pain in the backside for event goers.
I would say it's a minor annoyance, but anyway.
I can see how it is a pain in the backside for event goers. Now, we have actively criticised the book admin type stuff that's existed with 40k for a while now, and like I said last week, specifically for Errata's FAQs, I stand by that. I stand by that critique of GW and say, like, I know we're affiliated with them now. I'm saying, sort that shit out because it's a mess. Yeah. And now, with the FAQs that have just dropped because of these books, we've got even more FAQs in Errata, and it's going to keep going. Yeah, and in 2 weeks, we'll probably get another FAQ. There'll probably be one FAQ for the Space Marine Codex and an FAQ for the Ultramarine Codex, and it's becoming an absolute fucking mess.
It is, and I until there is another edition released where basically everything just gets swept into one pile and a new book is brought out that includes all of the updates, it's something that's going to continue to happen.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah, go on.
honest question. If once a year on the 1st of June, I picked that date, it's a DZTV birthday. If once a year on the 1st of June, GW released a brand new rule book that wasn't a complete overhaul of the rules, but just encompassed the last 12 months of FAQs and erratas, and it was 25 quid, would you buy it?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's basically chapter approved.
But it's not.
No, it's not the same thing.
Because chapter approved has changes in it from chapter approved 17.
It's got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And I don't mean so your new edition rulebook comes out.
Yeah.
And you've got 60-70% fluff. Okay, and you've got 30 to 40% of rules, maybe, or maybe the balance is a bit different. I think it was actually even more on the fluff perspective.
Yeah, I think it is. You're right.
So the first launch of 9th edition, for argument's sake, this book comes out. It's mostly 80% fluff, 20% rules. There's your new rules. Over the first year, you have chapter approved 2021 or whatever it is by that point. Yeah. You also have 2 big FAQs that come out within that time frame. Yeah. So on the 1st of June, they then drop 9.1. That is another rule book that encompasses all that old rules. They get rid of the fluff. You've already got that once. You don't need that again.
Yeah.
It's just a rule book. Maybe not 25 quid. Maybe
a
20
relatively
quid,
slim volume. Yeah,
just rules. So if you now want to go out and you want to take your rules with you with all the included FAQs, all the included erratas, but you don't want the lore, etc., and you don't want to buy that twice. Why would you?
Yeah,
20 quid every year. You're going to have to pay 20 quid every year, but you're going to get an updated rule book with everything in it. Yes, it might be outdated in 6 months when the new FAQ, or 4 months when the new FAQ drops. Yeah. But you also know that in 12 months after you've got it, that'll be refreshed again. So I'd pay that 20 quid.
Yeah. So what it basically talking about is in a similar way to chapter approved, but it's like an annual. It's like a yearly book that comes out with all that summarized. I think it's a reasonable idea. I think it's going to be out of date as the second it's printed. I mean, you think about how far in advance they print it.
That's the thing with print, though.
Yeah.
Print is always out of date the second it's printed. Totally. It's a shame, because I'm a book flicker. There was a discussion in Discord recently about digital versus books.
Yeah.
Stylus piped up and said that as soon as he started 8th edition, he switched to digital because it's just easier for him to carry stuff around. Someone then came back and said they think it's harder or more annoying or less. It's not as quick to do rule search stuff on digital copies, etc. Okay, I get that there's an argument for both. Yeah. Personally, I'm on the seat of I like having the physical book. Me too. I've always liked having the physical book.
Yeah, same.
And when I go to an event, I take my rule book, I take chapter approved, I take my codex, I take my Forge World index if I'm running Forge World there, and I end up with 4 or 5 books, and that annoys me when I'm at an event. I'm here in my studio, I don't care.
No, absolutely.
I've got all the space in the world.
Like I say, you're in your garage, and you've got to look a rule up. You're not playing to a clock. So it doesn't really matter, does it? You can spend 5 minutes flicking through the book and you're having a chat and that anyway. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I kind of begrudge it as well. Carrying all those books around is annoying, particularly because what I do is I put all my rules on a spreadsheet. So I've got my clipboard, and it'll have a table with all my my data sheets basically on there. So I don't very rarely get the book out of the bag anyway. Yeah. So I'm carrying all those books around. They just stay under the table the whole time.
In fact, I've seen you at an event. You are such a clipboard wanker.
Yeah, I know, right?
John has said makes chapter approved redundant. No, because I think if you were to work it there on the 1st of June, you get a brand new a rule book, and then on the 1st of December you get your chapter approved. So they're 6 months apart. The chapter approved still useful. So 6 months in, you get an update your rules. We're not going to give you a new rule book every 6 months, but we're going to give you chapter approved, and then 6 months time you can get your new rule book, which includes chapter approved.
I mean, arguably, then shouldn't they just do big FAQs middle of the year, end of the year?
Could do,
and roll it in, and then you just got 2 books every year. And chapter approved includes, scenarios and
that's what I think they should do. So as long as chapter approved continues to include new narrative campaigns, new missions, etc. Although the rules are going to get integrated into the new rule book, you'll still require chapter approved if you want to play specific missions. Yeah, most tournaments and events make up their own missions anyway. Yeah, a lot of them.
Well, yeah.
I'm not saying it's a perfect situation.
No, it's not, is it? I mean, I think that's the point as well, isn't it? There is no perfect answer to this because some people want it one way and other people want it another way. Absolutely. And GW can't win. They can win because they're making money hand over fist. But the point is they can't keep everyone happy all the time. And, we spend an awful lot of time talking about how they can improve things and it'd be great if they did this or they did that. And I'm sure there's other people who listen to those things that we say and they go, that's a load of shit. That would be awful. I'd hate that. Absolutely. I want them to do it this way or that way.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. And everyone's got their own opinion.
Yeah, it's a never-ending but interesting debate. Yeah, it's fun to talk about this sort of stuff and how we can improve or how GW can improve this wonderful game that we love. But there's kind of no answer to it.
But now I'm going to go round to where we were originally, because I know we've gone off on a bit of a tangent here.
Sure.
And why I brought this topic up is because I was really anti their book admin for rules and stuff, and I kind of still am. However, with the supplement stuff, I'm feeling differently about it.
Yeah.
When they announced the new releases before they dropped on my doormat, and it said Codex Space Marines and Codex Supplement Ultramarine, I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
And having read them, I take it back, because I like the variety and the variation you can do. Because with White Scars, you can run it as a successor chapter. Ultramarines, you can run them as your successor chapter. It just gives you so much variety. So like I say, from content creators, from me and you playing here, if Tyranids and Eldar and all that go that same route, we have got so many options.
Oh, absolutely.
So many options for creating content.
It's like, you might feel like, oh, there's a new book, there's so much to read. But whenever I get a new book, I'm like, great, this is like something new to read, it's something to learn. It's like, this is fun. I like the books. I think the codexes and the rule books and these supplements they produced, they're fantastic books in their own right.
Absolutely.
And it's fun reading, looking at the artwork.
I love the narrative. Like you said, 60 odd pages of narrative.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Flicking back a little way to other factions getting this same kind of codex with supplement editions, I think it's going to be a bit difficult to produce enough content to justify, for instance, an Elatok supplement. I don't know if there's enough background information for that to warrant 50-60 pages.
But this is the beauty of 40k. Even just because it doesn't exist doesn't mean it doesn't have to.
No, true. That's an awful lot of writing against it, then, isn't it?
Before Dawn of War, I believe Blood Ravens didn't exist.
Correct.
Blood Ravens were created for Dawn of War, I believe. Again, I don't know if this is fact, but they were created for Dawn of War. Soon after they were created for Dawn of War, suddenly they had loads of fluff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they
can do it.
Well, that's it. They had a whole campaign that has been in the video game that then been basically made canon. You know, and all the rules, the people had written the story for the game, and then that all became part of the canon.
And there was, we've already had a comment about new players. One of the things I like about the way they're doing it currently is that a new player doesn't need to have a supplement. Correct. So what a new player can do at the moment, if he wants to, he or she wants to, and some people have already shot me down for this, and I understand their concern. Because a lot of people have said, why would the new player do that? Because then they're nerfing themselves. But if they don't know the game, they might not know they're nerfing themselves. So if you were a new player, let's say Mikey P's a brand new player to 40k, and Mikey P comes to me and says, I'm a new player, I want to start playing, are you up for it? Yeah, I'm an experienced player, not a problem. Yeah. And Mikey P says, I'm going to run Space Marines. So I can go, right, this is the book you need, this is the codex that you need, this is the rules that you need. Okay, now, even with all the chapter-approved changes, actually, we can still choose to play core 8th edition rules.
Yeah, of course.
We don't have to play all the new changes. So I can say, read those rules, understand those rules, and we'll just play core 8th edition. And with your Codex Space Marines, you have got everything you need to run an army.
Yeah, absolutely.
Winters played with his 13th today with just Codex Space Marines. He didn't use a supplement.
Sure.
And it was strong enough.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for a new player, you can have one rule book and one codex and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once you've got used to that and you've become competent with your Space Marines and you're used to your Space Marines and you're used to your rules and your stratagems, you could then choose to branch out to a supplement. You don't have to.
Yeah, totally.
Entirely your choice.
Yeah, and I think people who say, well, if you only take the Space Marines Codex, you don't take a supplement, you're nerfing yourself. I mean, all of that predicates on the fact that you want to win and that you're only going to enjoy it if you win.
That's the next thing I was going to... Yeah, absolutely.
Because, the thing is, I've played introductory games with a couple of guys. So I've got a couple of mates who got Copard and Discord. Discord. He's come around mine. We had a couple of games and, over the last sort of couple of months or whatever, and I've been playing games with friend Gizmo.
Say it as is.
Burnham, who lives near me as well. So they've come back quite recently. I've played sort of intro games with them, small scale games, and some I win, some I lose. They win, they lose, and because we have a fun game, the enjoyment is not only in the winning; it's in the playing the game. And it's in the epic moments when his captain, rips a hole in my Trigon, but doesn't quite kill it, and then he eats him back.
So that's where I was going to extend it. So for me, the enjoyment isn't necessarily in the winning, which is very good because I don't do it very often.
Sure.
For me, the enjoyment is the story. So if at the end of the game you've played a 2 or 3 hour game with your two armies that have told an epic story and you've had those moments, the best battle reports for me aren't the ones where come the end of turn 5 I win. necessarily. They're the ones that throughout the game it twists and turns and it
Totally.
it swings and it could be the Grey Knights that win and it could be the World Eaters that win and then it goes back to the Grey. If you can. Sometimes you play those games as a commentator where the game just tells the story for you.
Yeah, completely.
And you don't have to work hard necessarily as a presenter to tell that story because it just happens.
Yeah.
They're my favourite games.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because of cards or dice, to some extent, dice can be a massive problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be really hard to spin that narrative. And sometimes you've got your elite custodies, for example, playing something pathetic, and they're just falling apart because the dice are horrible that day.
Sure.
It happens.
If you roll a lot of ones, you're going to lose the game.
And that can be a really hard time to try and spin that narrative and explain why custodies are falling over to a stiff breeze.
Yeah, I mean, they went out for a few drinks last night, and they're feeling a bit rough, and they're not really on their A game, so they slip over their own feet.
So yeah,
I mean, absolutely. And so, like, when I played with Luke recently, he came on my game with his salamanders against my Tyranids, and my Trigon popped up next to his captain, charged him, and whiffed. Basically, didn't kill his captain in combat. His captain turned around, slapped him down to like 2 wounds, I think.
Yeah,
nearly killed him. Next round of combat, my Trigon ate his captain in 1 round.
Yes.
But then he paid 2 command points, I think it is, to fight again with his
on the chapter.
On the chapter, yeah. 2 command points to fight again with his captain, and toasted my Trigon.
Yeah.
So completely ripped him to bits. That's a great like kind of tussle between,
And as the Trigon's picking this Marine up and he lifts his hammer just because he knows he's going to his death. And those moments are the best.
Sword in the eye.
Absolutely. Those moments are the bits I love. Why I play 40k. Why I put battle reports online. It's because I love those moments.
And it's like a really clutch moment there. And then it ends up with, both models get removed, and it's like, wow, that was cool. And it doesn't matter if my Trigon should have died or it should have eaten him in the first round of combat. What happened is what's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people that talk about the fact that if you don't take a supplement, you're nerfing yourself, or these are too strong, or these are too powerful. I understand their concern if you're going for pickup games or playing events. I do, and I genuinely I understand and agree with it to an extent.
Yeah.
But what I think a lot of these people are kind of missing is the fact that most people that play I would say not necessarily the majority, no, maybe it's the majority actually. The majority of people that play 40k play with their mates in a room like this where they folded out a mat or a table on a table or something. Or, I mean, I know I've got a purpose-built one, but you get the point. Like,
or floor hammer,
Absolutely.
Whatever.
And they're the ones that people play, where they go and meet up in someone's garage or dungeon or wherever it is they're going to play 40k. Yeah. That's where most people play. And for most people, this isn't going to be a massive problem because normally you're coming to film for me, with me for a battle report, for example. Yeah. In fact, take that away. Just take away the whole filming aspect. You're coming to play.
Yeah, it's not a game.
I'm a mate of yours. I want to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
We'll talk about our list before we turn up.
Yeah.
Of course we will.
Well, yeah. I mean, we just sort of, what I tend to do is we just say how many points, and we go, 1,000 points. So with new guys, I kind of know what they've got in their armies. So both the guys I'm playing are new. We've got some Space Marine armies. Although Burnham's going to have some Death Guard next time, which would be nice. Anyway, I know roughly what's in their armies, so I'll tailor my list to make it, where it's a fair competition.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to run, 40 Gene Stealers against a load of Salamanders TAC Marines. Yeah. Because they're going to get minced and no one's going to have fun. It's going to be a really quick game. It'd be better just to have a competition.
That is for me where power level falls down.
Yeah.
Because power level can still be very unbalanced. Yeah. It's okay for narrative games, but anyway, we're not going to go.
That's another rabbit hole. Yeah.
So so the other problem I have with these supplements, the only problem I have with these supplements in terms of balance isn't where we currently are, because Eldar don't have the supplements, Necrons don't have the supplements, etc., etc. My issue is how we deal with factions such as Grey Knights, Thousand Sons, Death Guard. So in Eldar, you have 7 Craftwilder attributes or something like that. Necrons, there's 6 dynasties. Yeah. Nids, there's 6 or 7.
I think they're all 6, to be honest. But yeah,
maybe
I'm not sure.
Maybe
but
6 Eldar ones. Yeah. So you're looking at 6-ish chapter tactics, we'll call them. Which is fine, because that means that potentially there's 6 supplements that can come out. So you could have supplement Elatok, supplement Eleandrin, supplement Simhan, etc. I am massively behind that because it balances with the Marines. Yeah. Then you look at Grey Knights or Thousand Sons, and what can you do? They can't have supplements unless they're now breaking down into sub or they're actually literally chucking out successor chapters or successor craft, or not craft files, but exact specific. So how do they then balance? Grey Knights isn't a great example because they're crap anyway. How do they balance Thousand Suns with a single book with Space Marines plus a supplement?
It's a very good question, and I think the simple answer to that is that by releasing more rules for Thousand Suns. So the thing is, it's a constantly evolving game. So Thousand Suns, when they came out, let's just say they were really competitive. They're pretty competitive, and they've had some buffs and nerfs along the way or whatever. Space Marines come out and they're the new hot shit. They're really really powerful. But then in a couple of months' time, there'll be another codex that comes out as well. It's the power creep thing.
Yeah,
things are constantly moving.
Yes,
and the natural progression, as a general rule, is that things kind of get a bit worse over time. So codexes get out of date effectively, and then they get updated rules. It doesn't always follow that pattern. That's a very general
No, it's
thing.
a kind of codex creep type model we hear of, right?
Yeah, and the codex creep at the moment is relatively slow, I think, which is good. But codex creep is a good thing, because it means the game is changing and it's evolving, and people are getting more options to play with, getting more things to do, and it's not going to stagnate. Bearing in mind also, you always have the option of ignoring new stuff. You can play house rules.
You can't ignore new stuff, Mike. That's not how it works.
We can't. We don't. We like new stuff. But
I certainly can't.
New stuff comes through. It's exciting. I like it. I mean, even if it is like something comes and it's super turbo broken, I know that GW are going to FAQ it. It's going to happen. So
how hard must it be to have a game this size and manage to continually keep it evolving and keep it interesting?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the second it stops being interesting, people stop spending money.
Yeah,
it is a fact.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and like we said it before, I don't necessarily think GW makes specific choices to sell more. There's some very cynical views out there about certain things with regards to Forge World, where the rules come out, they sell loads, the rules get nerfed. The next thing comes out, the rules are great, they sell loads, the rules get nerfed.
I think that's more down to a bit of stupidity, really.
I don't think that is specifically done to sell more models and make more money.
No, I don't think so either.
However, and there's a lot of people that say a lot of comments about certain things that happen within GW which are specifically just to make more money. I don't believe that happens. However, they are a business and they need to make money. So to keep it evolving and keep it interesting is what keeps people buying the new codex, buying the new model range.
Yeah.
If they didn't keep updating the codex, if they didn't make things interesting, people wouldn't buy it.
Correct.
So there's people like me that exist, and I think I am common in terms of the 40k community. We like to call ourselves magpies.
You're very common.
Yeah, we like to call ourselves magpies.
Yeah.
It happens to a lot of people in 40k. You've done it. I've done it. I guarantee almost everybody in the Twitch chat at some point has done it, where they'll be collecting an army. They might even be halfway through. They might be just starting. They might be nearly finished.
Yeah.
And then something new comes out that they just can't resist.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately for some of us, that's most things that come out.
Yeah.
But
well,
for other people,
it's not even necessarily when things come out either, is it? And you just kind of go, "Oh, I fancy a bit of that."
Yeah.
I've got about 5,000 points of Tau sat in a box at home that I haven't painted or even played with yet. So,
and I think you're not the minority there.
No,
There's loads of people that are the same way.
either.
And some people that goes on for there'll be 3 or 4 books that come out and they go, "Nah, not bothered, nah, not bothered," and then one will drop that just catches their eye and they go, "Ooh, I like that."
Yeah.
And that's a successful model from GW because it's keeping people invested and interested in what's going on.
Yeah, totally.
Which ultimately does translate to them spending money.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it does.
Well, I really don't understand why people get arsy about GW trying to make money. I mean, if we want this game to continue to exist and evolve and get better and better, then we want GW to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because if they don't make money, they're not going to make the game.
And the other thing that I think is key for GW to do is to continue to experiment with new things and not just stick. So
like this supplements things.
I will go out on a limb here, and you all know I was categorically against Primaris as a release.
Yeah,
I still think that the way in which they've done the narrative behind it is a bit weak and a bit shoddy.
Yeah.
My opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's my opinion. I think it's a bit shoddy.
You're not alone.
When you look at the fact they've done a similar type of thing with Chaos, but they have just upgraded the kits, could they have done it? I don't know. Having said that, as much as I dislike the narrative behind it, most of the Primaris models, not all of them, because again, I don't like the jumpy dudes, either of the versions, are the things like intercessors and stuff like that are glorious looking models. I really like Primaris Intercessors as models.
Yeah. Oh,
I would
brilliant.
quite happily have a whole force of Intercessor type because I just think they're nice. I actually really like Aggressor suits, like that sort of
they look
Gravis
cool.
type look.
Yeah.
I just think they're a glorious model range. However, there are people out there that don't like them.
Totally.
That's fine.
Well, it's like the suppressors, the jumpy dudes with the auto cannons. I mean, derp.
I hate them. But some people love them.
But the point is, as well, introducing the Primaris, fantastic business move. I mean, it's shown to be an absolutely excellent move by GW in terms of their revenue and their sales. I mean, they've gone through the roof. You know, they've grown something ridiculous like 600 or 700% in the last few years.
They've hulked and upgraded their poster boys.
Yeah.
So what better way to push the business on than to upgrade the poster boys?
Yeah. So
now, I mean, what I'm getting at as well is people like Calgar, Primaris Calgar, Primaris Tiggy.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm bringing this up specifically because it's a controversial point for me. I detest Primaris Calgar. I've said it. I'm not going to go on about it.
Yeah.
I do. However, when that model dropped, the amount of people that jumped on things like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and went, "Look how good he looks." Now, I'm not going, "You're wrong." I'm just saying I don't like it. But that's brilliant. Because you don't want everybody in the 41st millennium, in the 40k universe as it exists, you don't want every single person to be collecting Ultramarines and Calgar.
No, absolutely.
You want people to want different things.
Yeah. And there's room in the world of 40k for everyone to do what they like.
And what I think is going to happen with these supplements is that variety, where we've got this level of variety, is going to go out here.
Yeah.
There's going to be loads more.
Oh, I hope so. I really hope so. Because, what I don't want to do is, one of the things that people hate about Knights, for example, is when you go to a tournament, you're probably going to play Knights. And you might even play them more than once.
Yeah.
And I think...
And they'll probably have a Castellan.
Yeah. I mean, I played against two Knights, and that was in the team game when I was the bloody captain. I could have chosen not to play against them. So, it happens. But so what I would like to see is I'd like to be playing against White Scars or against, Bieltan and Craftworld. I want to play against different things with different rules so I can, experience a different kind of game.
I want to turn up to an event and play a Power Armor army that isn't Deathwatch or Ultramarines.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd be great,
Absolutely, yeah. Or an Eldar army that isn't Ulthway or Alatar.
Yeah, or a Marine army and just curb stomp them.
Yeah. Of course,
yeah.
But that variety is amazing, and my only real concern, because I really want them to do that with all these other codexes. I want them to go into individual clans and give them more flavour. If they're going to come out with 50 to 60 pages of narrative for each of the Orc clans, each of the Eldar Craft worlds, each of the Necron dynasties, that is a richer environment for all of us. And if they're also the most important thing for me in that whole thing is that they continue the custom chapter tactics with every other faction.
Yeah.
So custom craft world attributes that you can build yourself, custom dynasties you can build yourself. If they do that and they allow that level of customization, it just the universe explodes with possibilities. My only concern with the whole thing is that, like I said, codexes like Thousand Suns and Grey Knights will get left behind because they don't have that diversity within that book, because what they've done in the past is split them out of the main codexes. I thought maybe with the Marine book, I genuinely thought we might see them chuck Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Grey Knights back in and then manage the individual units with the supplement, and they haven't done that.
I think one of the main reasons they haven't done that is just because of the number of data sheets in it. It's too much to put into one codex. I think already the Space Marine Codex is nearly as big as the rulebook.
You can put in so if you look at the Space Marine Codex as is, the only thing that's chapter specific in that codex is narrative and a single chapter tactic. That's it.
Yeah.
So what they could have done with Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Grey Knights, for example, is just put the chapter tactic in and some fluff.
Yeah.
The supplement comes out. That's got Bile Predators, Librarian Dreadnoughts, Mephiston,
Interrogator Chaplains, etc. Yeah.
It does mean that, for example, Blood Angel supplement is a lot bigger than other supplements because of the number of data sheets. It does mean, unfortunately, Blood Angels players would need to have 2 books if they want to run those specific units.
Yeah.
But Ultramarines players that want to run Tigerius have to have 2 books.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's no different to where we are now with Ultramarines.
No, that's
and
right.
yes, money-wise, that's minorly annoying, and it's a little bit bad that we're doing that.
How much are these supplements?
So as far as I'm aware, the codexes have gone down to £25 from GW.
Already 25, aren't they?
I thought they were 30. Before.
No, 25.
Okay, well, they've stayed
been
at
that long since you bought
Codex. And the supplements are £17.50.
Yeah, okay. So it's an extra $17.50, basically, I think.
Yeah, essentially. So it's $42.50 all in now for the both books without the rule books.
And that's like
high.
half a box of models.
Yeah, it's half a box of grots.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you get them from our sponsors, Element Games, they're a lot cheaper than that. You don't pay £25, you pay £20. You don't pay you don't pay £17.50 either. You pay about 12, 13, 14 quid. So you can save yourself close to a tenner by going for Element Games. Just saying. And there's a link in the description below because Element are awesome. So there is a higher buy-in, but I'll buy that for $1 for the sake of more variety. In all seriousness,
yeah, and I think to a certain extent, I think complaining about the price of things is a bit silly because this is a very expensive hobby.
Yeah, but
I mean, we've all, anyone who's been in this hobby
is
going to spend hundreds of pounds on it easily.
I'm going to argue with you.
Go on,
because
that's what we do.
That's what I do. There is a weird thing going on, right? So I know Games Workshop is an expensive hobby because I've done it forever. It's always been an expensive hobby. The books have always been pricey. The books, in my opinion, have always been overpriced. £25 for a codex is high, I think, personally.
It is, yeah.
I know it's hardback. I still think it's high. However, I do like nowadays, with the amount of money they're making, it seems like it's getting invested and we're getting better and better stuff.
Yeah.
So on the converse side of it's expensive and I don't like how much I have to pay for it, we're getting better stuff. So there is that. The thing I don't like about the cost, and the reason why I would argue with you about it's an expensive hobby and why I wish they would drive the cost down, is newcomers to the game.
Yeah.
If you are a newcomer to a game, things like, what's the magazine? Conquest.
Yeah.
What a fantastic idea Conquest was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So newcomers,
do more things like that.
Absolutely. Newcomers to the game and easy to build kits. There's not enough of them about, in my opinion. Easy to build kits that are cheaper. There's not enough entry-level cost stuff for players. So if you're a new player who turns up to the game and buys his book, you might buy your codex and go, well, that was a bit steep at 25 quid. Oh well. Then you write your army list out and then you go on the web store and add it all together and you go,
well, that's 500 quid. Yeah, I know. It is very expensive. And I think I completely agree with you in terms of new players. Attracting new players to the hobby is difficult if they're going to be on a budget.
You're almost priced out of it sometimes.
Almost, yeah.
Because you don't know if you're going to like it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think normally people who are joining the hobby, it's because they've got a mate and they've played a little intro game and they're like, I'm going to start doing a bit of this. And they probably know how much it's going to cost before they dip their toe in.
They've got an idea, yeah.
Yeah, and there's always eBay as well. I mean, there's a huge thriving market of second-hand models in armies and stuff you can pick up for a vastly discounted price versus buying new on the sprue. But yes, it is an expensive hobby.
I mean, if you've got a mate who's already playing and he's got 2 armies, but if someone comes here who's a friend of mine who wants to play for the first time, they've got armies they can choose to play totally, and they can have a go. But if you aren't in that place, if you're trying to draw, say me and you had never played 40k before, but we started watching battle reports on YouTube and we were enjoying it and et cetera, et cetera. And we went, let's give it a go. When the pair of us went to buy armies, we're going to look at those prices and we're going to fall over and go, what the? Because it's high. And people, it's very rare, unless you're Richie, that you're going to pay for something and then you don't know if you like it yet.
Completely agree. Yeah, definitely. And I think to be honest, I think trying to get into a hobby like this and you don't know anyone else who does it, I think it's going to be very difficult for you. The only way I think really to pick up the rules and get au fait with the game is having a mate who already knows it, who tells you, who teaches you. When I started off, I mean, pretty much playing with you and I've watched bat reps and you get the majority of it, but there's a lot of things you don't get in bat reps, like deployment phase, for example. Just doesn't appear. So learning from someone who knows the game inside out is massively valuable and really is the best way of learning.
Yeah, I mean, you are right, and that's one of those models where we're relying on essentially word of mouth, which is why their current interaction with the community is really, really good. Yeah, and the way that they're conducting themselves more often than not is really, really good because word of mouth there's a big buzz about the company right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's interesting how these supplements are being received considering the buzz. Some people, myself and yourself, are going amazing, loads of variety, loads more flavour, really positive. Yeah. Some people are actually going opposite. More books, more money. I don't like this. Why have we overpowered Marines? Yeah. A lot of those players, I will say, aren't Marine players. Yeah. Because they're just probably likely to, in the very near future, get dick kicked by Marine players.
I mean, yeah. And I think in the past, in previous versions, where Dark Elder didn't get a codex for like 7 years or something like that, you know, when you had to wait around. But everyone's getting a codex every year.
I mean, that
months,
complaint,
so,
I know this is a bit of a bone of contention considering Sisters Battle. That complaint's basically gone.
Yeah.
Because not only is every old army that hasn't had a codex forever now got a new codex, pretty much, and even Sisters have got beta rules that you can use now.
Yeah, they're still a playable army.
They've even dropped new ones, like Thousand Sons never had an individual codex, Death Guard never had an individual codex, Custodies never had an individual codex.
Didn't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's even better than it was before.
Yeah.
Because they're now chucking more stuff at you. Now, we have had an interesting comment from American Rob that says that actually the high buying could be considered a strong business model itself, because you're ensuring that only those that are invested are going to get involved, and because you've then spent a lot of money, you're a lot more likely to stay invested and involved because you're going, I've invested now, I might as well get on with it. Which is interesting. And Bristol Chess Times has basically said that if you want to learn 40k and how to play and get involved, just join Warhammer.
Yeah, absolutely. Do that.
Yeah, that's a positive.
And RFN Socket also says, I got into hobby in January and not been able to pick up any of the codexes yet, and I can definitely agree with you. If you don't know anyone in the hobby already, can be frustrating. I'm in that exact situation. Hit us up. Come down, play a game.
Right from the Socket is in Discord as well.
Yeah.
So give people a shout out on Discord, and there's got to be someone. I will almost guarantee, if you're in the UK, which you are, that there will be someone on Discord who is near enough to you that will be prepared to come to you and help you play. I guarantee it. Yeah,
totally. And if we can make a good news story out of that, come on down and give us the game.
Yeah, I love that sort of propaganda that we can see out on Facebook as well. It's amazing. There's loads of stuff like that out there. It's not just us either. That's the other thing. There is obviously other communities out there. There's other gaming clubs. There's other YouTube channels that exist. There's other Discords. There's loads of communities. You can get involved with those. I personally think that I'm really excited about the future of supplements in 40k.
Yeah.
If they do it right, like I say, I just want to make sure they don't leave Thousand Sons and Death Guard and Grey Knights and all these individual codexes behind. Custodies specifically. Custodies for me have been a roaring success. Brand new army, brand new model range. Act exactly like they should in the narrative.
Yeah.
They are elite soldiers. They're amazing. GW have done a perfect job with that. If every multi sort of chapter codex comes out now with a supplement and they get left behind, and they become the new Marines, that'll be a crying shame. So I just want to make sure they manage that. I know what you said about giving Thousand Sons more stratagems and more power. My concern at that point is a new player comes to the hobby and picks Thousand Sons. Suddenly he's got 6 pages of stratagems. Maybe that's a bit much.
Well, you know, it's a complicated game. There's a lot of rules. You know, it gets more and more complicated over time, as we're finding out. I mean, these supplements, it's an added layer of difficulty. And even just vanilla Marines, they've got more rules now.
Yeah.
You know, they've got more basic rules that add another layer. You know, they've got that whole, like Drakari, always been identified as quite a complicated army to play, both in terms of kind of movement, but also the sheer number of rules and the layers of rules. If you play covens and cults and cabals, then you know you've got all these layers of rules. Marines have now got something similar to that. So they're a more complicated army to play. Previously, Marines always been the most simple army to play. So
yeah, absolutely.
You know, it is a complicated game. It gets more complicated over time. That is a potential issue. But like I say, find someone near you who wants to play a game or is willing to give you a game, or go to your local GW. They'll give you a demo game.
Hey,
you know,
right from the Socket has just said, travelling isn't easy, single dad, no babysitters. People will come to you, I promise you. Yeah. People will come to you. Give a shout out on Discord, someone will come to you. I almost guarantee it.
Or they'll meet you down local GW. You know, you can have a little game.
He said single dad, no babysitters.
Okay, fine. Don't do that.
Literally read that out, Mikey.
Don't leave your kid at home.
Right, okay. We're going to wrap it up there because it's been a long weekend at work. I'm on nights tomorrow. I think we've done this to death a little bit. It's been a really interesting topic about the supplements and the way it's working with these and the concerns people have and the benefits to it and etc. I think it's really positive.
Yeah, I agree. I
think you gain a load more from this and there's going to be more variety and more variation, and that for me is only a good thing, but I am looking from a content creator's perspective. Let me know what you think. If you're either in Discord, drop me a line in Discord in the little Twitch stream channel or whatever and let me know what you think, because I'm probably going to miss some of the comments on Twitch at the moment. If you're on YouTube, drop a comment below and we'll try and respond.
Yep.
We had loads of interaction with the last one, which is really, really good. I'm interested to see how this develops. I'm interested to see people's thoughts. If you're going to comment about how you think it affects the game, it would be really interesting to know what perspective you're coming from. Yes. So are you just a play at home with your friends? Are you a go to tournaments and want to win all the time because you want to be the best in the ITC? Are you go to events for casual gaming? Let me know what your context is, so I can judge how you think this is going to affect the game, because I think that'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely. definitely. Context is key. I mean, don't just say that shit. Say that shit because, I find it difficult to pick up all the rules.
Yeah, maybe you're an event goer
Yeah.
who doesn't want to go to win but wants to enjoy himself, and you're now massively concerned that this is going to mean you're going to get curb stomped all the time.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I don't know.
Sure,
so let me know how you think, and let me know what you think and how you think it's going to affect you, because I'm actually genuinely really interested. I think it's going to be massively positive, but I might be wrong.
I agree.
Good.
You might be wrong.
If you've enjoyed... Thanks, mate. If you've enjoyed this podcast, if you've enjoyed this live podcast, you can join us on Twitch in the future. So this is mostly for people who are watching on YouTube, and you've seen us do the camera flick setup, which I'm really proud of now. This is the second time we've done this. If you are enjoying these and you want to join in live and be part of the comment section with all the guys we've been talking to today, then come and join us live on Twitch. Head on over to Twitch, there's a link below, and follow Morehammer Liam. You can subscribe. If you've got Amazon Prime, you can link your Prime account for free and then subscribe to the channel for free. Just remember, you've got to do it every month. And if you subscribe to the channel for free, you're financially supporting the channel directly, and it's costing you nothing because you've already got an Amazon Prime subscription. If you haven't got Amazon Prime subscription, just take it out anyway.
Yeah, do it anyway.
It's only £80, right? Otherwise, you can support the channel via Patreon, link below. But the best way to support us currently is via the link that's been on the screen, www.deploymentzone.tv. It is a website. It's basically a pure 40k website at the moment. As and when Winters and I get to do the whole full-time thing, we have already spoke about extending into Age of Sigmar and all that kind of stuff as well. Yeah. But currently it's pure 40k. There's top tips on there. There's painting tutorials that are currently going up. There's Big Debates, which is a comedy series, which we're going to reinvigorate at some point in the future. There is Sit and Talks between Winters and I, and there is a mountain now of battle reports, including 2 to 3 campaigns, which the last campaign, the feedback, I have never seen feedback like it. Say Hi Paul and Winters did an incredible job.
I would say without doubt, and I'm clearly biased, but in any case, I would say it is the best bit of 40k video I've ever seen.
As far as comments on the battle report go, in terms of the Discus comments, I believe you can go on the website and look at the Discus comments without reading the video. I think they're open for everyone to view, whether you're logged in or not.
Oh, okay.
If that's the case, go and check out the comments on the Death of Hope, especially the last 2 videos, and read what people are saying about it. Yeah. And then that will probably make you want to subscribe. Because it is the best piece of narrative 40k, in my opinion, that's ever been put together on video. Yeah. I am biased, but I wasn't involved in it.
Yeah, full disclosure, we're both biased, but it's still fucking great.
Yeah. So check out www.deploymentzone.tv for loads and loads of 40k content. Come and join us live on Twitch next week. Next week, we are probably going to be doing Monday night, you and I, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And I am hoping to have another one up in the middle of the week, potentially, if I can finish organising it with Mini Wargamer Dave. That'll be exciting, where we will be talking, warning, we'll probably be talking chaos, because it's Dave, right?
Yeah.
You don't really get to talk about much else.
You love him some chaos.
That's not set in stone yet. If we do get it organised, we will be posting a video, we'll be posting to Facebook to let you all know. I'll obviously tell you guys in Discord well in advance, but we will be posting to Facebook to let you know. So you can head on over to our Facebook page and find us. It's just Morehammer, and it's the same banner, so you can't miss it really. I think that covers almost everything.
I believe so.
I think so. If you do your Love You Buy tonight, you need to do it a little bit quieter.
Are you sure?
You have a very good microphone in front of you.
I'm gonna slay.
And currently all of our listeners have still got their eardrums.
Okay.
If you Love You Buy at your normal volume, they will no longer have their eardrums, Mikey P.
I'll just sit back here.
Yeah. Okay. So if you do it in a minute, be careful with it.
Okay.
Right. Good. Like I said, come and find us, come and join us, come and chat with us. We can't wait to talk to people about these supplements and stuff because I'm very excited by it. And that's the end of that. The guys in Twitch, we will hang around for a couple more minutes. I need to run to the toilet. We'll chat to you for 5 or 10 more minutes, and then we're going to go raiding someone. It looks like we're probably raiding Jay again, painting studio, Mohawk Minis, because he's got
nice guy.
He's got about 2 people in his cat watching him currently. So we'll go and raid him and give him some views and some love and chat to him about his painting that he's doing, because he does a really good job actually. He does some really nice stuff.
Really nice.
Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Love you, bye.
It's perfect. It's perfect.